Hello there. Fancy a trip back in time? I thought you might. We're not going to a specific match this time, not the '86 World Cup, nor that dramatic night in Barcelona. No, we're going much further back. A grand tour through the very soul of football. It starts with a simple ball and a bit of open space, a tale written on dusty fields and in colossal stadiums across the globe. This beautiful game can make us cry with joy or fall into despair in seconds. It has a rich, fascinating history, as thrilling as any last-minute winner. Long before the first whistle ever blew at a professional match, people all over the world were kicking a ball around. It seems to be a fundamental human instinct, doesn't it? The earliest whispers of football come from ancient China, over 2,000 years ago. They had a game called kuju, which literally means kickball. It was used as a military training exercise to keep soldiers fit. The aim was to kick a leather ball, stuffed with feathers and hair, through a small opening in a silk cloth strung between two tall poles. They played it without using their hands. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, ancient Greece and Rome were also getting in on the act. The Greeks played episkiros. The Romans adapted this into harpastum. It was played on a rectangular field with a small, hard ball. It felt a bit like a mix of rugby and football. Players would tackle, wrestle and fight to get the ball across a line. It was all about strength and strategy. It was incredibly popular with Roman soldiers, who took the game with them to every corner of their vast empire. Across the Atlantic in Mesoamerica, civilizations like the Maya and the Aztecs had their own incredible ball game. This was no simple kickabout. It was a deeply spiritual and ceremonial event. The ball was made of solid rubber and could be incredibly heavy. Players had to strike it with their hips, thighs and sometimes their forearms. They aimed to get it through a stone hoop mounted high on a wall. For centuries, football was a chaotic, unruly affair. Different schools, clubs and towns all played by their own set of rules. You could be playing a game where carrying the ball was allowed in one village, and in the next it would get you into a world of trouble. The public schools were hotbeds of the sport: Eton, Harrow, Rugby. Each school developed its own version. Rugby favoured running with the ball. Eton preferred a kicking-only game. The real turning point came in the 1860s. Graduates formed clubs, and the need for a single unified set of rules became painfully obvious. Imagine organising a match between a team that allowed hacking, kicking an opponent in the shins, and one that didn't. There was a huge debate about two key issues: hacking and carrying the ball. On the 26th of October 1863 at the Freemasons' Tavern, they formed the Football Association, the FA. This was the moment modern football was truly conceived. The meetings were not without drama. Clubs wanting a tougher, more physical game argued for hacking. The majority wanted skill over brute force. When the vote went against them, Blackheath and several clubs walked out. They would form Rugby. Those who stayed created the first official laws of the game. The first 13 laws, drafted by Ebenezer Cobb Morley, laid the foundation. Ebenezer Cobb Morley. They outlawed hacking and explicitly forbade running with the ball in your hands. They defined the kick-off, the throw-in and the goal. The offside rule, different from today's, aimed to stop lurking near the opponent's goal. For the first time, football had a universal code. Once the rules were set in stone, the game didn't just stay in England. It exploded. Like a perfectly struck shot, football travelled across the globe. The British Empire was the main vehicle for this expansion. British sailors, soldiers, engineers and merchants organised kickabouts in ports from Buenos Aires to Mumbai, Cape Town to Shanghai. In South America, the game found a passionate home. Locals watched, were intrigued, and soon they were playing themselves. British railway workers in Argentina introduced organised football. Argentina formed the first official league outside Britain in 1891. In 1894, Charles Miller returned to Brazil with 2 footballs and a rule book. He is considered the father of Brazilian football. The sport matched South American flair and creativity. They made it their own. Europe caught the bug fast. The Netherlands, Denmark, Italy, Germany and Spain were early adopters. Clubs like AC Milan were co-founded by Englishmen. Football became a new identity and rivalry for cities and nations. Popularity exploded across a modernising continent. FIFA's founding in Paris in 1904 is monumental. It was founded by representatives from 7 countries: France, Belgium, Denmark, the Netherlands, Spain, Sweden and Switzerland. England joined the next year. FIFA standardized international rules and dreamed of a world championship. The seeds for the World Cup had been planted. National associations spread the game and its culture worldwide. Local leagues formed. Clubs anchored communities and created the rivalries that still define the game. The game had left home and taken root everywhere it arrived. With the game now firmly established across many nations, the natural next step was to see who was best. The first major international tournament was played as part of the Olympic Games, starting way back in 1900. In the beginning, it was a fairly informal affair, featuring amateur club teams rather than national squads. Great Britain won the first two official Olympic football tournaments in 1908 and 1912. In South America, they didn't wait. The Copa America kicked off in 1916, the oldest international competition in the world. Uruguay emerged as the surprise winners, signaling their early dominance. The dream of a standalone world championship was driven by FIFA's visionary president, Jules Rimet. In 1930, Uruguay, the reigning Olympic champions, hosted the first FIFA World Cup. The journey to South America was long and expensive. Only 4 European teams made the trip. 13 nations competed, and Uruguay beat Argentina 4-2 in a thrilling final. These early tournaments turned friendly matches into high-stakes drama with glittering prizes. The World Cup captured the imagination like nothing before. Competitions like the FA Cup had shown the magic of knockout football. The World Cup amplified it globally. The stage was set for football to become the king of sports. The post-war years saw football enter a series of golden eras, each defined by legendary teams, revolutionary tactics, and unforgettable superstars. The 1950s belonged to the magical Magyars. Led by the incredible Ferenc Puskás, they humiliated England 6-3 at Wembley in 1953. They played a fluid, attacking style years ahead of its time. The decade also saw the birth of the European Cup, a contest to crown the continent's best club. Real Madrid dominated, winning the first 5 tournaments. The 1960s brought color television and new global icons. Pelé announced his genius by winning the 1958 World Cup as a 17-year-old and won again in 1962 and 1970. Tactics became more sophisticated. Italy's Catenaccio, Alf Ramsey's pragmatic England, and later total football. Ramsey's wingless wonders won in 1966. Tactical thinking evolved constantly. The 70s saw total football perfected by Ajax and Johan Cruyff. Any player could take another's role. It revolutionized tactical thinking with fluid positional play. This was also the decade football embraced commercialism. Player endorsements and shirt sponsorships appeared. Huge television deals started to transform the game into a massive entertainment industry. Rule changes like red and yellow cards and the back pass rule encouraged attacking play. Technology improved boots and balls. Broadcasting brought fans closer than ever. The World Cup expanded to include more nations from Africa, Asia, and North America. The game became truly global. Each era brought new heroes, Maradona, Zidane, adding chapters to football's story. Football's journey is not just about what happens on the pitch, it's about its immense cultural impact. The game became a powerful source of local and national identity. Your football club represents your town, your city, your community. The weekend ritual of going to the match, standing on the terraces with friends and family, is a tradition passed down generations. It fosters a sense of belonging, a shared passion, connecting people who might otherwise have nothing in common. On a national level, the World Cup becomes a moment of unity. Football has been a platform for social change. Didier Drogba's plea for ceasefire in 2005 is one such example. His words had a profound impact. A truce was called. Players use football to speak against racism and injustice. Football offers pathways out of poverty and supports community programs worldwide. It inspires art, music and fashion. Chants and tifos are a form of folk music telling club stories. The chants echo around stadiums and bind supporters together. Kits and crests become iconic symbols worn with pride across the globe. From terrace fashion to player off-field style, football shapes culture beyond sport. It inspires films, documentaries, video games and books. Video games and literature keep the passion alive between matches. Football is a constant presence, a shared reference point in daily life. This cultural power makes football so much more than just a sport. So here we are in 2025, and football is bigger than ever. But why? In a world with endless entertainment options, what makes this simple game so enduringly popular? A big part is accessibility. At its heart, all you need is a ball and some space. You can play it in a park, on a beach, or in a back alley. This simplicity is its genius. It transcends wealth and class. It's a game for everyone. That grassroots connection is vital. The modern game is a breathtaking spectacle. Players today are phenomenal athletes, faster, stronger, more skillful. Tactical masterclasses unfold every week with moments of individual brilliance. Drama you just can't script. Technology like VR adds tension and precision. High-definition broadcasting brings us so close we see every drop of sweat. The digital age has brought fans closer to the game and to each other. Social media connects us with clubs and players. We debate team selections with fans on the other side of the planet and watch highlights moments after they happen. Fantasy leagues and video games keep passion burning between matches. This constant engagement keeps the flame alive. Ultimately, it's football's emotional core. Hope. Every season, every match, every kick brings new hope. Hope your team might finally win the league. Hope an underdog might pull off a giant killing. Hope your country might lift the World Cup. Fortunes can change in an instant. Unpredictability keeps us coming back. As we reach the final whistle on this journey, it's clear football's story is about so much more than a game. It's a human story. Our ancient need to play, our desire to belong, our passion for competition and excellence. From dusty fields to high-tech stadiums, the fundamental elements have remained the same. Two teams, one ball, and a goal. It's a simple premise that created a global phenomenon, a common thread tying billions together in a shared experience. Think about it. You can go anywhere in the world and start a conversation about football. Mention the names Messi, Ronaldo, Pelé, and you will get a reaction. Pull out a football and you can start a game with complete strangers. It breaks down barriers of nationality, religion, and language. In a world that often feels divided, football offers moments of pure unity. This is the game's greatest legacy. A universal language spoken with the feet, understood with the heart. It teaches teamwork, discipline, and respect, how to win with grace and lose with dignity. It gives us heroes and moments of magic we cherish for life, a vessel for dreams, a constant in an ever-changing world. The game continues to evolve, but its soul remains untouched, and that for me is the real magic of football.